There remains one final big budget release for the summer blockbuster season, and yes, next week the Fantastic Four will be in theaters, and we can all experience that secondhand cringe from, well, all of the reviewers going out there and some of the shills going, guys, this is the best Marvel project since the last Marvel project. It's the best thing that Marvel has done since Endgame, and oh god, I can't wait to see all of those shill reviews this week. It's gonna be so great, yay! I can't wait to see the exact same stuff that we've seen for Thunderbolts, that we also seen for Captain America Brave New World, that we also seen for Deadpool and Wolverine, that we seen for the Marvels. Well, actually, we didn't see anything for the Marvels because they just want to sweep that one under the rug like it never happened. Or, oh yeah, this is gonna kick off Phase 6 because it's gonna be so much better than Phase 5 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Oh my god, this is just such a departure from the depressing dregs that was, Phase 4. But then it's just like, I'm so tired of Marvel at this point in time, bro. Just make one good movie. Just make one good movie. That's all we ask for. It's not that difficult, but hey, this is going to be setting off a phase where you're going to be having not one, but two Avengers movies that are totally going to make sense, and they're 1000% going to be coherent because, hey, they're currently filming Doomsday. They don't even know what the third act looks like, but they're definitely filming it, and it's going to be great because Robert Downey Jr. is back, and he's going to be playing multiple Robert Downey Jr.'s and the Russo brothers because, they have a fantastic track record. Yeah, sure, they did Civil War and Infinity War, but they also did Endgame, and they also did The Electric State and Citadel. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why people still have faith in them, but anyways, there's also a Spider-Man movie that's coming out where it's like, okay, maybe that one will be good, but I kind of doubt it given Marvel's recent track record. But I mean, the self-contained MCU Spider-Man trilogy was pretty good, all things considered. But then you've also got other terrible projects like Deadpool, or I'm sorry, not Deadpool. I'm sure he'll weasel his way into one of these projects, but Daredevil Born Again Season 2, yay. See Cuckpin lord over his little independent nation state at the port in New York that is ungovernable. Oh my god, it is so dumb. Oh my god. And then Punisher's gonna have his own standalone special feature before he's going to be in the Spider-Man movie. Oh yeah, and at the end of this year, Wonder Man's coming out. Yeah, exactly. Wonder if anybody's going to care about that. But focusing back on Fantastic Four, the kickoff point for Phase 6. Yay, it's so great. You bring in the Fantastic Four in Phase 6. Yeah, okay, the math ain't mathin' on that one, but neither is the opening box office forecast. Spoilers! And Disney is expected to ring in the last $100 million opener of the season for the first weekend of May, yes, through Labor Day, which is so wild, right? This comes out at the tail end of July, even before the last long weekend of the summer, which, typically is Labor Day. But I don't know, does the United States have a long weekend in August? Canada does, so if you don't, but hey, good for you if you do. But yeah, what's the big movie that comes out over August, the quote-unquote long weekend, the first weekend in August? Is it Naked Gun? Fuck, man, I was excited for that movie somewhat because I thought, hey, if you're going to be rebooting it, okay, and you needed somebody to reprise the role that Leslie Nielsen made famous, you could do a hell of a lot worse than Liam Neeson. And then it was announced that Josh Gad was going to be on the writing team, and it's like, oh, fuck. And then that first trailer came out, and it's like, oh, everybody likes the O.J. Simpson joke, and I just thought it was all fucking cringe. So yeah, I have no hope for that one. Please, Mortal Kombat 2 be good, but I digress. Hopefully that one blows up. Hopefully everybody sees those, super awesome trailers, because that first one was pretty good, minus Bald Jade. Like, what the fuck are we doing? But anyways, Marvel Studios, yes, Fantastic Four First Steps is tracking comfortably between $100 and $110 million on July 25th. Ooh, that's interesting because I remember what Box Office Pro and other forecasters were saying that 125 was going to be somewhere that Fantastic Four was going to be in, but now you're marking it down to, I don't know, maybe $100 million, hopefully, something like that. I kept hearing, Disney is nervous, yes, but the stats look good. How is it that it looks good? Because I'm sure this will be announced. Oh, it definitely had a budget of $180 million. $180 million for this one. That's totally fine, but okay, cool. Even if you want to run with that funny money projection, what's the marketing budget on this one? Because at least they're letting slip somewhat that Superman's marketing budget was $125 million, and the way that Marvel has been pushing this film, it's been a long time. I think, like, maybe Multiverse of Madness, but it could even be before that we have seen such an aggressive marketing campaign for a Marvel movie. and especially a non-Avengers film being pushed this hard, like this marketing budget on this film, even if you want to run with that superfluous $180 million budget, this thing very likely has $150, probably $200 million marketing budget. So does Superman, but we'll never get those numbers. So yeah, this thing, it's like, in order to break even, it's still gonna have to crest $700 million, and with $100 million domestic opening weekend, and the way that Marvel movies recently have fallen off of a fucking cliff in its second weekend, and especially with stiff competition this time around, with Superman still tracking exceptionally good and Jurassic World eating up a bunch of box office numbers internationally, I have no hope for this film, doing anything outside of its first weekend. And if it's going to be that tepid, yeah, $600 million is definitely a pipe dream. And at this point in time, it'll be fantastic if it hits $400 million. With $13 million in pre-sales, as of Monday. Fuck. Because if you recall, Superman had 22.5, but Fantastic Four is pacing ahead of pre-sales for Thunderbolts, and Captain America Brave New World, yeah, because the Thunderbolts opened at $74 million, that was its opening weekend, and then the $88.8 million 3-day opening weekend for Brave New World, but yeah, it's still 20% behind Superman in pre-orders, or I'm sorry, in pre-sales, and it actually had good word of mouth, but yeah, we'll see this week coming up what the spin on it is going to be, because instead of focusing on the movie, there's a lot of focus on what's going to be happening afterwards, okay? Because this is just, it's typical Marvel stuff, okay? Get excited for next product. Don't get excited for this product. Just stay all the way through until the end and just watch all the end credit stuff, because that's why you're here. You're not actually here to enjoy the movie that you're seeing. You're just here to get excited for the next thing that you can go and watch, so you can wait and watch and see what the next thing to get excited for is. Fantastic Four director claims that Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards will lead the Avengers. What? I beg your pardon, because there's also reports out there that Sam Wilson and Yelena will reportedly lead the Avengers in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. So I'm kind of wondering, right? Because even just going back to this report, because I'm kind of thinking, right? Because they've got to go ahead and square the circle that was Sam Wilson suing the Thunderbolts, or at that point in time, New Avengers. Remember when that was a thing for 10 seconds? Yeah, exactly. Nobody does. No, but he sued the New Avengers for using that moniker because Sam Wilson, who back in his own D+ show couldn't even get a fucking bank loan, but now he's out there aggressively suing some of the people that he was in the Avengers with, somebody who he was also working with in that, Falcon and Winter Soldier show. They're eventually going to have to come to this agreement where they're all going to lord over this superhero team. But you take a look at, and if you recall, Falcon and Black Widow, or White Widow, or chubby little mid Florence Pugh, none of them have superpowers. They don't have super serum. They don't have anything. She's gone through choreography training in the Red Room, and Sam Wilson has like a Wakanda tech fucking Iron Man suit. But okay, cool. I would imagine, here's the way that I would do it, mostly because I've heard this idea before and I think that it's fantastic. In order to really establish Doom as being, more than just, a kidnapper or some shit like that, which is apparently how he's going to get set up in Fantastic Four. Spoilers, nobody fucking cares at this point in time, but if he comes in and with all of those cringe characters that were introduced in phases 4 and 5, like if Doom just comes in and fucking yeets everybody from his chair as he's like sitting down, just really, as the kids say, aura farming. Like if he just fucking flattens Shang-Chi, Yelena, all them bitches, it would just be, it might actually be a reason for me to go and watch this fucking trash fire. But no, if he's gonna be killing off anybody, it'll be old ass Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, which, fuck, that's still, oh god, whenever I remember, like, it hits me like a repressed the repressed memory of a drunk uncle at a family reunion that didn't happen. That's just a joke. Didn't have any family reunions, but every once in a while I'm reminded that Ian McKellen is, he's going to be coming back as Gandalf in The Hunt for Gollum, and he's also going to be Magneto one more time. I don't want it. Yeah, if Falcon and not Black Widow are set up as the leaders, and then they get removed, and Mr. Fantastic, because, well, he's not going to be leading the Fantastic Four, that's Sue Storm, because, once again, the Marvel Comics don't know what the MCU is doing. It's, once again, the left hand not knowing what the right is doing. It's like, they've been doing this in the comics for a long time. I don't, like, people picking up on this stuff. It's like, guys, back when, proper RDJ and Iron Man were kicking, Iron Man was dead in the comics. Fucking, you had female Thor at the time that, Chris Hemsworth was really coming into his own. Didn't you have Amadeus Cho as totally awesome Hulk? God, I can't believe that was a fucking thing. But to be fair, nobody was really like, oh cool, I really like that Mark Ruffalo Hulk. What else has he been doing in the comics? But in the first ever evolving world of Marvel storytelling, the Fantastic Four, often heralded as the publisher's first family, is undergoing a notable transformation with the relaunch of the Fantastic Four comic series and the impending release of the MCU's Fantastic Four First Steps. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, is stepping into a more prominent role as the leader of the team. The development has sparked discussion among fans, yes, about character dynamics and, yeah, whatever AI summary, just got crammed into this stuff. But yeah, there's more leaks about this story, and it's very interesting how we've all seen this scene at the beginning where Johnny kind of pieces together that his sister's knocked up by Pedro Pascal, which at that point in time, I just would have been looking at both of them going, how could you get it up, and why the fuck would you let him blast off? But all right, I digress. And they have that, oh my God, you're going to be such a great parent, but the smartest man in the world, oh, this is, so much above your pay grade. It's like, oh, so great. It's so great that Reed Richards is going to be such a fucking cuck, but now he's just going to get, blasted off in the comics. But of course, this will probably be a run that gets canceled. But yeah, hey guys, it's all right if Sue Storm is the leader because it happened in the comics. We're going to use that as justification for bad fucking stories being told in the movies, right? But there's actually a little bit more to this interview because this is Matt Shackman. I think he was talking to Variety or some shit like this, but yeah, I just wanted it summarized because the Variety article is actually quite long and there's only so much brain damage I can take in a week. But in a recent interview, the Fantastic Four First Steps director Matt Shackman has sparked a major buzz among Marvel fans by suggesting that Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, will be taking charge as a leader of the Avengers. Yay. This falls in line with a recent video by industry scooper WDW Pro that stated that Pascal would lead in Avengers Doomsday, but the role would ultimately pass on to Chris Pratt as Star-Lord in subsequent films. Interesting, I guess, because the Guardians don't really exist as a thing anymore post Guardians 3, because, Chris Pratt is supposed to have some sort of a part to play in the Vision series, and because Chris Pratt, even though some people are saying that he's quite overexposed, he's at least a box office draw, and he's a good actor, and he seems like a generally good dude. So yeah, if you're gonna focus on anybody moving forward, it kind of makes sense. But then again, so does Wolverine, and so does Ryan Reynolds. But Ryan Reynolds is probably priced way too far to that price range, especially after Jason Baldoni takes him and his wife to the fucking cleaners. And yeah, Hugh Jackman, well, first and foremost, you kind of got this X-Men thing to deal with on top of that, and also motherfucker's pushing 60 by the time that you do anything, post Secret Wars. So yeah, okay, you could do a lot worse. Okay, that's not bad. But this revelation comes amid ongoing hype around the family dynamics within Fantastic Four itself. Yeah, because that's why. See, guys, it totally makes sense why Reed can just go ahead and take a background part in Fantastic Four. That's why we could have Invisible Woman as the leader of the Fantastic Four, because Reed Richards, he'll be far more important in other movies. Whatever, man. Speaking of Variety, Shackman delved into the character arc of Reed Richards, emphasizing his evolution from a reclusive scientist to a protective family man, and ultimately a key figure in the broader MCU. Well, kind of a selfish guy who would rather see the entire world burn, and then at the end of the movie just fucking deuces out of a planet that overwhelmingly loves the MCU just because he doesn't want to give up his son, which, yeah, I understand, a father wanting to protect his son, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be a mother telling his father, yeah, dad's not going to give you up because mom said so. It's like, oh, okay, cool. He goes from being a nerdy scientist who's locked away in his lab to a husband and father who'd do anything to protect his family, to a guy who's leading the Avengers. Well, other than saving their planet and everybody in it, he's just gonna cuck out at the end of it and then take on the role of a leader in the Avengers. Yay. This direct quote has ignited speculation, especially with Doomsday slated for 2026, where the Fantastic Four are described as linchpin characters. Well, I mean, you got Doctor Doom, so that kind of makes sense. That would be like saying Spider-Man would be a linchpin for the new Avengers if Doc Ock was the main villain. Like if they were doing a Sinister Six movie and it's like, hey guys, Tom Holland is attached to this project. Yeah, we know. Return as a Doctor Doom. Well, yeah, exactly. There you are. Well, he's not returning as Doctor Doom because he hasn't appeared as anything in Doctor Doom yet, but he's going to be in a post-credit sequence, which is so funny, right? Because he's apparently supposed to kidnap Franklin Richards at the end of it after they deuce out of the world that ends up getting devoured by Galactus. Fucking lol. Shackman's vision for the film prioritizes family over superheroics, yes, noting that they are parents first. God, this is like the Acolyte, when that entire coven of lesbian space witches, lesbian space lynches, yeah, sure, they end up provoking the Jedi, who very justifiably end up ending a lot of their lives, and Trinity ends up killing all of them that were mind controlling, big old Kel Naka, fucking based. But she said, I'm not a leader, I choose to be a mother, and then you end up getting everybody killed. Huh. That's what's going to happen here, huh? Well, the Acolyte, you might not get season 2, but your legacy continues on in the form of the Fantastic Four movie. Yay! But yes, they are scientists and explorers. Second, they are superheroes only when they have to be. But yes, Sue is officially the leader of the Fantastic Four. In the latest comic run, Sue takes command, replacing Reed and declaring, I lead this team. The recent development from the comics mirrors the MCU's recent approach with the Fantastic Four first steps. Producer Grant Curtis confirming, if you do go back through the comics, you realize that Sue Storm is arguably the leader of the Fantastic Four, right? Yeah, if you just go ahead and kink your neck to the side and, disregard the obvious position that Mr. Fantastic is the leader of the Fantastic Four, then you could say that Sue Storm's in charge, sure. So does this mean Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards might be the leader of the Avengers when he's not even leading the Fantastic Four? Yeah, make that one make sense. And the implications of Sam Wilson. I don't think he's going to get killed off. That's the way that I would take it. But, I'm sure there's probably going to be more fucking shit about, the shared leadership or some fucking nonsense like that. But having, discount Captain America, Dollar Tree Captain America, take a supporting role to the male feminist Reed Richards, that's quite interesting. But yeah, man, $100 million opening. A lot of cringe marketing around this, a bunch of clips that have been festooned across social media, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't anticipate a good movie. The leaks look absolutely horrendous, but how will audiences respond to it? If we keep on seeing projections continue to go downwards and Superman continues to hold into its third week, Jurassic World Rebirth continues to clean up, the Fantastic Four, once again, well, I guess audiences will just be rejecting it, or you just made another atrocious adaptation of the Fantastic Four, of Marvel's first family, done dirty one more time. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo, which is follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.